Most definitely they have fashion, yeah. There's certain key things like Corinth, one of the main characters in my book. He's pretty much known for wearing his red Converse, his Chucks. He has red Converse, and then Alistair has his black motorcycle jacket, and then later in the third book, Lorna has another article of clothing that I don't want to give away because it would be kind of a spoiler. So, but yeah, they all kind of have their own little style, basically.
Wouldn't that be weird to have someone dress up like that and come see you?
It would be awesome.
I really like this book.
It would be really cool.
You can tell. It's like, oh, that's that character. That's that guy.
That would be, I think, that would be up here, of like all the things that you can experience with creating your own world and sending it out in the world and letting people read it. Sometimes as an author, you don't know people are even reading it. You just put it out there and you have no idea. Wow. There's, it's crazy. The feedback you get maybe years later after you've already like worked on your next series of books. But
that's the thing I was thinking about with Lucas. He hates Star Wars. He's like, I'm done talking about it. I don't want anything to do with it. Right. Can you imagine doing that with your own book? You're like, stop talking about this woman. I don't care about her and her dagger.
I hope not. I hope I never get to that level of just not liking my own work. But I get it sometimes because we are our own worst critics. Yeah. And maybe there's something there that he's just so tired of.
Now, is that something where you're at right now? You want to continue the story? Or do you feel
So I am going to be doing a spinoff series of this one. I don't know what the name is going to be, but I've already started working it out in my head. Of course, this whole series is in my head. Like the next book series that I want to do, the Ready Player One meets Warcross, I really want to plot that one out. It's going to be a 7-book series. So I wanted to get more structure and, more regimented program from there.
Has there been, when you're doing these, has there ever got to a point where when you're thinking about them, you're writing the stories down, you're hashing it out, is there ever a point where it's like, hey, I want to do a sci-fi on something completely different, or I want to do what you can tell me genre-wise, what is it that came out?
I would probably
do Western.
I'd probably say sci-fi. Yeah,
like ships in space, or
ships in space, or like Doctor Who. That would be kind of cool. Kind of a time travel. I'd love time travel. Love to do something with time travel, like Back to the Future or something. Like I don't know, I just write what I like, basically.
And that's another thing that's been very odd in my understanding, is like some of the time travel movies are not they're parallel dimension. They're not one timeline. Back to the Future was one timeline. He went back, he screwed things up. Right. Things got changed in the future. Well, right. The way that quantum physics works, it's like you could go back.
Oh, you're going to go quantum physics on me.
Physics on me.
I love it.
They talk about fourth dimension. They talk about fifth dimension, and the fifth dimension deals with time. Right?
Okay.
Did I ever tell you about the
I'm trying to follow along here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
talk to me like as if I'm a baby.
Okay, here's the babies.
Yeah.
And there's lots of good videos you can go out there, and they got good animations. But essentially, one dimension is one point of reference, two dimensions two, and we reference two as being a flat plane. There's nothing up and down; it's only flat. Right? Okay. And we live in the 3D realm.
Right. Correct.
So we can't conceive 4D.
Right. We can't. Yeah.
It's that other angle that we can't
see. Yeah.
So the fifth one is dealing with more time.
Like time control or time travel, or
no, like parallel. Fifth dimension is more like parallel stuff.
Yeah.
So say for instance, if you did go back in time, and you made yourself rich, and you decided to go back to yours, you're just you. Because the guy that got rich is on another parallel dimension altogether. Oh,
gosh, that would suck, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
There goes that.
What you should do
is
go back in time and live in that time period and be rich. Or get rich.
Oh, stay in that time period. So you're just on a one-way mission.
Yeah.
When you leave, you're done.
Parallel realities, you can't affect your own.
But if you go to the parallel reality, is everybody else there too, or are they changed?
That's just it. That's the thing. That's the fearfulness of time travel as it is right now.
Okay, so it's like The Flash. The Flash. Have you seen The Flash?
No, huh?
Yeah,
that's what happens. He goes so fast. He runs.
Well, he runs so fast he can go back in time, or in the future too.
Whoa!
But every time he does something,
which way he runs on the planet, right?
Yeah. So I don't know how he does it. He mainly like a circle or something. But he basically. He can change the past, basically, and if he does, he's altering the future.
Okay.
In a way.
So he's a one timeline guy. He's like a linear timeline guy.
Yeah, but if you change something that's happened in that future, then basically everybody else can be different. Or like if you had a son on that timeline and you go back and you come back to the future, change something, come back, you can have a daughter now.
That makes sense. That's the parallel.
So
that's also like a parallel thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Anyway, that's what they do in The Flash.
You ever see that movie, Mr. Nobody?
I haven't.
Oh man.
Have I? What's it about?
It's got that band guy in there, the main guy.
Mr. Nobody.
Mr. Nobody's free on Netflix. And
no, I haven't seen it then.
I was amazed by it because it was about a guy that was born without. He was born without forgetting, so he remembered where he came from when he was born, and he also could see the other divisions. So as he grows older, he gets more and more divided until the very end of the film. Mm-hmm. Well, the film also bounces around, which makes you just as disoriented. And
it sounds,
calls himself Mr. Nobody because he's the oldest person left on the planet.
Oh my gosh.
Well, not oldest person left on the planet. Well, maybe I think they portray him as that. But what I'm getting at is he's the oldest because all of his branches have died off, and now he's a single. He doesn't get to bounce around anymore. He's like, thank goodness. But I tell you, I've done all this stuff. Or at least that guy did all that stuff when that guy did all that stuff.
Who was he bouncing? Was he bouncing around in his own body? Or
yeah, so essentially a good example is the point of the movie where he actually selects his family. So that was easy.
Okay.
And as he's building his family, he's remembering more of that pathway. But his parents broke up. So there's a dimension where, did he go with his mom? Did he go with his dad? And then there's one where he just doesn't go with any of them. And kind of falls in between. Oh. And then there's 4 girls, and that's where the primary focus. There was 4 girls in the town, and the primary focuses on 4 different dimensions.
Wow.
So
it sounds complicated.
It is very complicated. And the way that the movie runs is very interesting. How it bounces back, and
do you get lost watching it, or
and he kind of tries to communicate between that. And you do get lost watching it, but it's petty. No, what's his name? You would recognize this guy. He's a lead singer of a band. He's been in a lot of movies. He's kind of like that Keanu Reeves looking, but
okay, kind of guy. Yeah. Oh, Johnny Depp.
Keep going.
I keep going. Oh, jeez. There's a lot. There's Kiefer Sutherland.
No, he's a younger guy, younger band.
Oh, younger band.
I can't think of the other things in Requiem of the Dream.
Oh gosh, I didn't see that one.
It's a good thing you didn't. I hate that movie.
Okay.
I actually was watching it. I remember a friend wanted to bring me to Requiem of the Dream, and I was like, I'm leaving. Like,
you're out.
30 more minutes. I'm like, I'm done.
Was it Soden? Soden did that.
No, he did not. He would, wouldn't he?
He would do it. Soden would do it to you. Yeah.
Just to get a rise out of you. I actually think that'd be kind of cool. I keep thinking about some interesting advertising you could do for the books and the story.
Well, I'm open. Tell me. Let's do it.
Well, tell me some of the supernatural things that could occur or that would...
So my let me just start by saying my vampires are different. They're not like ordinary vampires from like let's say Dracula. Mm-hmm. They can walk around in the sun, but the sun isn't irritant to them. So it's almost like skin rash or something. They just don't like being out in it. They basically don't drink. They drink human blood to turn humans, but they don't really prefer human blood. So my vampires drink from each other. They gain kind of a youth and vitality through that. It's almost like they age in reverse a little bit, or they gain years back.
Whoa, now are they on daily diets? So it's like, hey, it's 12 o'clock. Hey,
yeah, so basically, well, I mean, it's not like a human regimented where they need sustenance for a certain amount, but, they feed and then there's no set, like, time, like breakfast, lunch, dinner.
You come up with that concept, or do you think that happens in nature? There's some element in nature that does that?
No, so I came up with the concept, but there's a reason why I did, and you have to get to the 3rd book in order to find out why.
Really?
Yes, and there's a supernatural element to why that is, but I cannot tell you what that is because then I would give away the whole book. So buy it.
Exactly. Now, if this world actually exists, how would I know? Like, say for instance, if I was on a train platform and I did see 9.5 or a sign
Yeah,
for that.
yeah,
I'd be
9 3/4 or something.
Whoa, yeah. Like, wait a minute. Now, is there something like that like maybe there's some kind of tool or technique other than the dagger that'd be like, wait a minute.
As far as if a human were to recognize a vampire?
Yes.
Not really. There are signs, like if you know that a vampire exists, there are signs that because of their speed and because of like how fast they move and all that stuff, there's signs, pressure, but otherwise you and I would never know.
Okay.